الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته ومنتهى علمه وصل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين يقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين أما بعد. If a person asks you that what is the first command or action to do with the body, heart, mind and soul, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions for the believers. It's an interesting correction that the book of Allah, at least one should know what it begins with and which action it ends with, meaning what is the last verse or the last verses, which action would they mention? Because any author, any writer of a book, in the beginning, at the end, he mentions very, very important matters. In the beginning, he mentions, sets the scene, what he wants, and in the end, normally it's mentioned that if they do not do, what is going to be the consequences. Conclusion. So today, I would like to enlighten myself firstly, and also yourself. The first action which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, which I recited, after Iman, mentioned وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ, that those who will or who do, yuqeem is an Arabic word you understand as well, iqama, qiyam. It has different meaning than actually reading. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran never commands or mentions about salah by saying ada'us salah, that to perform the salah, yu'adduna salah, yusallun, that they prayed or they will be praying or they perform the prayer or read the prayer or recite the prayers. Because their wisdom in the Quran, any word which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to use is not just to convey the, actually you may say, general meaning, or there is a special meaning behind it. There is a special purpose. If so many words can be used and Allah Jalla Majduhu, He chooses one word from them, there is a very, very good reason for that. So as I mentioned to you, that in the Quran, Allah Azza wa Jal subhanahu wa ta'ala does not mention about salah as actually that to performance of salah or reading salah, offering salah, and only where he mentions offering salah or something like this is where munafiqeen are mentioned in the Quran. Or those people, musallin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, for those people who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like their way of praying at all. So in this khutbah, so that you know what we are going to learn, is difference between offering salah, reciting salah, or praying, and establishing salah, iqamatus salah, and yuqimun salah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because uses this word and rejects the other ones, the ones who does not perform but actually does not establish, but actually tend to pray. Oh, yes, have you prayed Salatul Jummah? Yes, I have prayed. Allah is not saying to pray, Allah is saying establish the salah. So what is the scholars always mention from the companions of Rasulullah, from Sayyidina Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu, Sayyidina Mujahid rahimahullah ta'ala, from the early centuries to this century, different ways they explain different levels of salah. Obviously they begin with that person, difference between ada'us salah and iqamatus salah. They say, mention of these things are well known. It begins with that wudu, salah, you're praying regularly. It's not like part-time thing with jama'ah, etc., etc. So it begins with that. But then it goes further, that how do you establish salah in your body? How do you establish salah in your body? The body does certain movements, but how do you iqam? The first level is actually wudu, ghusl, all the shurut, etc., etc., fiqh, the sharia which says. But then it goes beyond this, the ulama says. How do you establish salah in your body? Firstly, they say that how does the salah become established? Number one, what are you doing with your hands in salah? You are putting your hands here or here, wherever you put, wherever, all is sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But you are using, if you ask the person who is putting here, he say, I am following sunnah. Person who is putting here, he is saying, I am following the Prophet alayhi salatu. So all are saying. So this means establishing salah would mean, in your body would mean that these hands should not be used outside the salah against the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam and the command of Allah. So when the outside of salah, life outside the salah, comes in line with life inside salah, that's when prayers are established. When the life outside, after the sleep, assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum, when the life outside the salah, meaning here now, complies with how my behavior or life was inside the salah, then salah becomes established in my body. Not all in totality, but body. So establishing would mean, so I'm doing, this is ada'us salah, I am performing salah, okay. Establishing further to that would be meaning that after I finish my salah, I am not using my hand for wrong signature, wrong sign, etc., etc. Or what does hands signify? Authority. I won't use my authority as khatib, as imam, as a household member, or wherever you are a teacher, or you are an officer, or you are a clerk, or whatever you are, whatever authority you have, do not use against command of Allah, the sunnah of Rasulullah. That would be meaning that you are establishing salah with your hands now. Where do you use your feet? If someone putting feet like this, someone is putting like this. You ask both of them, one is saying, yeah, I am doing it because sunnah, I am doing because shaitan does not get in my salah. So establishing salah would refer to that when you finish the salah, you don't drive or use or go to those places which Rasulullah ﷺ prohibited, which the Quran has prohibited. That will be, you will be going against the establishing the salah, not going towards fahsha wal munkar. Establishing. Now, okay, I am standing like this, shaitan does not get in my salah, but when I am going towards the pub, the cinema, or actually meeting friends, and I know I won't be even praying there, or meeting someone which I shouldn't be, just flirting, just here, there, going, driving, meetings, those places which are sinful, then shaitan doesn't come. Then I myself become the devil, and here I am actually saying, I won't let shaitan in me, and there I myself are becoming devil, because what is the devil? Devil is unthankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, disobeys Allah, and actually these things he does. Spending money. I don't have money, I'm buying a car on interest or borrowing money from someone. I don't need it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Innal mubazzireen kanu ikhwan ash-shayateen. The mubazzireen are the brothers of shaitan. They have become like shaitan. And they don't should worry, oh, shaitan does not come in our salah. They themselves are shaitan. Stomach, are you eating in the salah? Are you eating? You don't eat even halal. So establishing salah would mean that when assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, that when I go out, my earnings are not haram. In salah, I abstain from halal. Outside salah, I abstain from haram, at least actually. My earning, I defraud, drugs, fraud, benefit fraud, social fraud, or disability fraud, housing benefit, tax fraud, whatever, selling alcohol, whatever the Sharia, whatever you think everyone knows. All those people who ask question, shall I buy house on interest? Shall I sell alcohol? They are asking because their hearts themselves know there's something wrong. And when the Prophet ﷺ was asked, Ya Rasulullah, what is sin? When we don't know, when we are not clear what is sin, he said, whatever disturbs your heart, whatever makes your hearts restless, doubtful, abstain from it. They matter. Halalu bayyin wal haramu bayyin. Haram is clear. Haram is clear. And in matters are there, you should avoid. That is wisdom. So that will be establishing salah. With the private parts, what are you doing? Your wife touches you in the salah. Many of the fuqaha says, your salah is invalid. Her salah is invalid. So you are praying and your wife says, yes, my husband, she touches skin to skin, your own wife or any woman for that sake. Many of the fuqaha say your salah becomes invalid. So private parts, you are so much observant that even touch of a wife, you do not allow. You say, oh, stand behind, or women should not be standing. In level you are not getting. And outside the salah, you are not abstaining from preserving your private parts. You are actually yourself contacting them. Your body is interacting with them, flirting with them and things. How are you? That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna salata, if you add salah, establish salah, tanha anil fahsha. You wouldn't actually go around flirting and zina and having extramarital relations, destroying other people's lives. Actually, just because of here, there, I'm socializing, this is my cousin, this is my cousin, this is my cousin. Sharia doesn't actually recognize your cousin. Rather, Sharia says your cousin is more dangerous than the stranger, because you are free to move and things, etc. Similarly, relatives, similar. So that would be establishing the salah, because your private parts, you are standing, you are not even, let's say, doing anything haram, you are not even touching your wife. Similarly, the tongue, with tongue what you are saying, Subhanakallah wa bihamdik. Remember those people who say, oh, shall I put Shaykh hand here or here? I say, put wherever you, don't put on the na-mahram. Don't touch any women. Don't touch alcohol. Don't touch haram. That's Allah will ask you on the day of judgment. I said, no one is going to ask you, you put your hand here or here actually. That will not be a problem. But hand hitting someone, actually harming someone, that's where actually the problem is going to be. So you are worried about things which there is flexibility, in which there is ikhtilaf, in which there is flexibility, and where all ulama, all a'imma, all fuqaha are unanimous. I am doing those things, asking about things where there is difference. Where there is difference, maybe there is flexibility. But when there is no difference in some of, actually like this, some of the sin, some of the crimes or bad action, what will happen to me? There. So establishing salah with tongue, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Someone is reading, Allahumma ba'id bayni wa bayna khataya kama ba'adta bayna al-mashriq wal-maghrib. Someone is reciting, wajjahtu wajhiya lilladhi fatara as-samawati wal-ard hanifa muslima wa ma ana min al-mushrikeen. Someone is reciting, Allahumma hadini li ahsan al-akhlaq. They are all prayers what you begin the salah with. Dua iftatahiyya. In the tasbih, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim. You like that one? Read that one. If you like, Allahumma laka raka'atu, wa bika amantu, wa laka aslamtu, wa alayka tawakkaltu. Recite that. They're all masnoon, all azkar from the sunnah. That's not the issue. But you use your tongue like this. Establishing salah will mean that outside the namaz when you are here, that you don't use your tongue in an unlawful way. Back when, oh, that person was not good, or he wasn't good, he is doing that, what's doing that, etc. I am losing all my reward here. I have not established the salah, I have dismantled my salah. I have destroyed my salah, destroyed my salah even actually here. When I am actually doing that, speaking ill with the tongue. So actually this, so with the tongue establishing would mean this. Similarly with eyes, oh yes, but one is doing ikhtilaf. Oh, you should look down. Other is saying, no, you should look on the prayer of sajda. I said, look wherever you want. If there's a difference of opinion, I do not get into it. But establish your glance, Islam with the, how? When you go outside the masjid, don't look at any women with lust. Don't look at any brother with mean eyes, with belittlement eyes. Don't look at your brother with eyes of jealousy. I said, preserve your eyes from jealousy, from kibr and shahwa. In salah, look wherever you want. At the most, you will not be following the sunnah, but your prayer is established. What foolishness and useless things you are arguing about, and where there is no difference at all, I am doing on my phone. Let aside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opening the book of judgment, on the day of judgment, the book of deeds. If me and you borrow each other's phones and just check Google search of past 1 year, that what we have searched, you will know what actually a person is doing or what a person is. So eyes, be it on the phone, be it on the iPad, be it on the TV, be it on the poster, be it everywhere, shahawat, or actually what you call actually with hasad, with kibr, that will be meaning establishing salah actually. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa jalla wa ala, in another verse I finish by saying, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْ بَعْدَ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ صدق الله العظيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون وقال سبحانه وتعالى وإذا قاموا إلى الصلاة قاموا كسالى ولا يذكرون الله إلا قليلا صدق الله العظيم. So continuing with that would be meaning establishing salah. I'm talking one meaning of establishing salah. Then there are other meaning that when I am outside as well. But the main message I'm giving you, when your life outside the salah or outside the masjid comes in line with inside the salah, salah is established. When my life with my family, with my home, with my wife, children, with my relatives, with my finance life, my business life, my social life, when it comes in line with how I am behaving in salah, when outside life comes in line with that, then salah is actually established. Now, because the time doesn't allow so much, but otherwise I would have mentioned to you some other levels of actually establishing salah. I've just mentioned establishing in your body. What does the salah mean? Establishing in your mind, in your heart, in your soul, outside where you are. That's different. That's actually different khutbah. But I will finish on a hadith which the Prophet ﷺ mentioned this very clearly. But Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned very clearly in the tafsir of Surah Ma'un, because that surah makes it very clear. أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ فَوَيْلٌ. Allah subhanahu destroyed are these people. Who? These worshippers, these musallis. Who? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ يَرَاءُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. I'll just offer you translations. لَيْسَ كُلُّ مُسَلِّي يُسَلِّي. Allah says, Hadith al-Qudsi, Imam Delami narrates in the tafsir of Surah Ma'un. لَيْسَ كُلُّ مُسَلِّي يُسَلِّي. Every musalli is not a musalli, Allah says. You might say, hey, I offered Salatul Jummah. Does Allah say you offered? That will be the thing. I want to marry that girl. Does she accept you? Then nikah happens, or just with my proposal the nikah is going to be established. Laysa kullu musallin yusalli. Innama. Allah says, I am not going to accept everyone's prayer unless they establish. Who I will accept? Allah made it clear in black and white. Innama ataqabbalu salah. I will accept the prayers of that person only. Mimman tawada'a biha li azamati. The one who actually is humble because of my greatness. He is humble with the creation. Walam yastatil ala khalqi. And he does not boast, and he does not show off, and he does not do zulm upon my creation. Walam yabit musirran ala ma'siyati. He is not a constant sinner. He is not constant. Any sins can happen from. I accept the prayers of the one who is not a constant sinner. وَكَفَّ شَهَوَاتِهِ أَنْ مَحَارِمِي. That person's prayer I accept, who stops his shahawat, his lustful urges to violate my commands. I accept the prayer of that person, what he is doing outside. Allah is not talking about inside now. وَقَطَعَ نَهَارَهُ فِي ذِكْرِي. And he also during the day, he is mindful of me. He is in my presence. If he forgets me all through, what kind of salah is he praying? وَرَحِمَ الْمِسْكِينَ. He has mercy upon the miskin, the poor. وَابْنَ السَّبِيلِ. If a traveler comes, he helps him. If an Wal-armala, a widow, he knows. So meaning he establishes welfare for the people. Wa-rahim al-musab, if anyone is struck with a calamity, he does mercy and help. Wa-awal gharib, he befriends the stranger. A stranger comes in your mosque and you go and me go. We never ask, brother, from where have you come from? Can I help you? Etc. etc. Allah subhanahu, if you don't do this, go help with your prayers. I don't want actually do this type of prayer where you are frowning away from my people and you are putting sajda, asking paradise in the sajda and making life hell for other people, you'll get paradise like this. I said, never think like this. وَأَطْعَمَ الْجَاعِ وَكَسَّ الْعُرْيَانِ. And he said that the one who feeds, the one who are economically he helps and feeds. كُلُّ ذَلِكَ لِي. And he must do all these things for my pleasure. If he does, إِنَّ نُورَ وَجْهَهُ وَعِزَّتِي وَجَلَالِي إِنَّ نُورَ وَجْهَهُ لَأَضْوَوْ عِنْدِي نُورِ الشَّمْسِ. This person is shining in the unseen world more light than the light of sun. أَنْ أَجْعَلَ الْجَهَالَةَ لَهُ حِلْمًا وَظُلْمَةَ نُورًا يَدْعُونَي فَأُلَبِّيَهُ. If he will ask me, if he will actually call me, I will say labbaik. If I will give him wisdom, وَيَسْأَلْنِي فَأَعْطِيَهُ, I will actually, if he asks question, I will grant him. وَيُقْسِمُ عَلَيَّ فَأَبَرَّهُ, if he swears an oath on me, I will fulfill. I will love him so much. And وَاسْتَحْفِظُهُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ فَأَبَرَّهُ أَقْلَهُ, I will grant him my closeness. I will protect him with the angels. مَثَلَهُ عِنْدِي كَمَثَلِ الْفِرْدَوْسِ لَا يَسْنَى ثَمَرُهَا وَلَا يَتَغَيَّرُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is from my servants like Jannatul Firdaus is in the paradises. This is the concept of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet of Islam establishing salah. So try to learn, and I will be here after the khutbah as well. If someone wants to learn establishing salah, please do. Before our eyes close and you go on the day of judgment, there is not even one prayer there. And you say, I have been reading. Angels say, you were not asked to read, you were asked to وَيُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. Then, إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين والملائكة أجمعين والخلفاء الراشدين المهديين وعلى جميع أهل البيت والصحابة والتابعين والخيار إلى يوم الدين. اللهم يا حي يا قيوم فرج عن المسلمين. اللهم اجعلنا من التوابين واللهم اجعلنا من المقيمين من الصلاة. اللهم ادخلنا برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين وعبادك الشاكرين وعبادك القانتين. يا حي يا قيوم فرج عن المسلمين في المشارق الأرض ومغاربها، خصوصا في أرض فلسطين وفي سوريا وفي العراق وفي بورما وفي كل بلاد الإسلام يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين في كل مكان وقت وحين. أحينا على الإسلام ومتنا على الإيمان والسنة واحشرنا مع الصالحين. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات فاستغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. أقيموا